We are live this Sunday morning as we count down the days until the ballots are due. There are many races and candidates, but first we are focusing on the Democratic campaign for the U.S. Senate seat currently being held by Senate Majority Leader, Republican Mitch McConnell. The three leading Democratic candidates are State Representative Charles Booker, retired Lieutenant Colonel Mike Brewer, and retired Lieutenant Colonel Amy McGrath. LEX 18 spoke with all three candidates within the past few days as they made their final push for the nomination.
We are going to win this race.
Charles Booker's campaign has taken him across the state in recent days, from Frankfort to Whitesburg, Prestonsburg, Irvine, Bowling Green, and Lexington.
And what you're seeing across the Commonwealth and folks standing that have never stood before, people speaking out because they know that if they stay silent, that things will get worse. It's inspiring us to come together now.
The deaths of George Floyd in Minneapolis and Breonna Taylor in Booker's hometown of Louisville have inspired Black Lives Matter protests across the Commonwealth.
Well, I'm standing with my family. Kentuckians, those are my family. And when you see family hurting and crying out, you stand with them. And we were grieving in the streets. We still are, demanding justice and accountability. And when I talk about structural racism, I'm making it clear that affects all Kentuckians. That affects folks in Appalachia. It affects folks near the Purchase. And if we don't understand the root causes, if we don't deal with the fact that people are being left out and blocked out, we're going to continue to harm people even when our intentions are good.
Because of the national conversation on racial inequality, something Booker discussed as a lawmaker in Frankfort, his visibility has increased in recent weeks and his poll numbers are looking up. Booker says that he wants to deliver a Green New Deal to Kentucky, Medicare for all, end generational poverty, expand voting rights, and push for criminal justice reform. His issues are ones that he feels apply from his West End neighborhood in Louisville to the hollers of Appalachia.
The way that we beat Mitch McConnell, the way that we transform our future, is by locking arms from the hood to the holler, every corner of the Commonwealth, to say that we can end generational poverty. We can address inequity. We can make sure that opportunity is available and that communities can flourish and that healthcare is a right. We can do those things if we stand together. So we're standing, and that's exactly why we're going to win.
Mike Brewer is the next candidate we are profiling this morning. He also believes that he is the best choice for Kentucky.
I think it's because I can beat Mitch McConnell. Kentucky has this habit of recycling politicians against Mitch, and it doesn't work.
Mike Brewer is not a politician. He is a retired Marine officer, former educator, worked as a newspaper editor, and now lives and works on a farm in Lincoln County. He has a simple belief that's driving his campaign.
That this country should be about social and economic justice for all.
Brewer believes in a universal basic income, affordable college and child care options, Medicare for all, lower prescription drug prices, criminal justice reform, and equality for all. He strongly supports the Black Lives Matter protests and says when he has attended, he sees unity on that issue throughout the state.
When you see it happening in Whitesburg and Stamford and Danville and small communities across Kentucky, it is really, really heartening that people are joining and seeing the importance and the justice in this message and getting on board.
And he's hoping to be the candidate to carry that message from his farm in Lincoln County to Washington.
I was 13 years old.
Almost 1 year ago, to much fanfare and excitement, Amy McGrath announced she was running for the U.S. Senate.
People are very much ready to get rid of Mitch McConnell.
The retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel first introduced herself to Central Kentucky when she ran for Congressman Andy Barr's seat in 2018. She captured the Democratic nomination, but fell short against the Republican incumbent. Now that she's running for another high office, McGrath is asking all Kentuckians what they want from Washington.
It's health care. It is prescription drug prices. It is broadband and education. There's a lot of people worried about the kids. What are we going to do for kids that aren't connected right now with regards to education going forward?
As she attends Black Lives Matter protests, she's advocating for racial equality and increased access to affordable health care.
And I'm talking about injustice in education, racial injustice in health care. Black Americans are dying at twice the rate from COVID-19 as white Americans. So these are all problems that we have to have common sense solutions, and we got to get it done now.
Opponents and critics have accused McGrath of being a pro-Trump Democrat. She dismisses that label, but says that she is willing to do the right thing for Kentucky if elected.
And this is the biggest difference between myself and Mitch McConnell. I will always have the guts to stand up to any president, whether that president wears a red jersey or a blue jersey, to do what's right for Kentucky, or when it comes to the Constitution of the United States of America that I swore to defend 6 times in my life as a United States Marine.
3 different candidates, one goal: beat Mitch McConnell in November.